Okay.
Sorry, can anyone see anything? I'm just still seeing names.
Yeah, me too.
You can't see anything? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
Well, you probably have to share your screen.
Yes, I might have missed it. Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Bingo, there we go.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, so let me just go ahead with this. This is me, and with this stuff. Okay. So these are the key takeaways from our session right now. So what are the flows? Why to use it? And also we might have a lot of developers, we might have business analysts or users. Some people can't code, so can they use this flow? So we're going to talk about that. And also, like, we have different types of flows. We are going to take a look at them one by one. So let's see, let's go ahead. Okay, so how many of you are developers here? Like, how many of you have already code? Like, do you code? Anyone here code? Okay, so I think I assume like some people do, some people not. But yeah, so uh, Salesforce has recently introduced a lot of new features. Those are regarding the flows. And if you think about flows, right? So according to my experience, you can almost build everything with the help of flows. So instead of writing code, you can just do the drag and drop, and you can literally build almost all the like. If you think about, like, if you live except some complex scenarios, you can almost build everything. So if you think about it, if you know the features, what all flows can do, then you can definitely develop your applications without code and much faster. I mean, like, if somebody gives you the requirements, you just need to, instead of writing it on the paper, you're just writing it in the flow builder. That's it. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to go with the flow builder. We're going to talk about the elements, what all things are included. And this flow, whatever flow features we're going to have, this is all point and click. You don't need to code anything unless if you want, like, because there are some features wherein you can write your code, and that code can be called from flows. So that feature is also available. So it's a combination of both, like coding and that means code is like other part. If you want to code, you can code it. Otherwise, you can just write your own stuff, write the flows. Okay.
Amal, can I ask you one question?
Sure, please.
There's somebody waiting in the main room asking to be let into the breakout room. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, they are? I'm so sorry. Okay, let me just check. Let me just see. I don't see people waiting here. Let me just take a look again. I don't see any request actually here. Let me just see.
Tiffany is in the chat asking if she can be included.
Yes, I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, wow, because I don't see any option here to include any other users. Let me just take because I see a lot of people in there, but let me just see. I have no idea whether I can create another room. Do they see any option for a room there? I have no idea. Or do you want me to cancel and join there again? I don't know. Save the room and maybe I'll just.
Amul, you are in the break room right now.
So if you click the attendees, there are two tabs there. One is general and one is room. Maybe as a host, you can click on the room and see if anybody is here.
Yeah, Tiffany is showing up in the general. Actually, there's a number of people who are showing up in the general that may be waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see 14 people in the general and only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the room.
You need to grant them or allow them to join in the room.
Hello. I'm sorry, I'm not able to join the room. They just need to go to the chat room and they just have to join. I'm not sure if they're able to do that. There should be an option to do that for them. Okay, so I think until people joins, maybe we should just go ahead, right? Okay, so I'm sorry about this technical difficulties because I think they should be able to join right now. I think so. Let's see. Let's just go ahead right now. So these are. Can you guys see my screen or not? You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So these are the basic building blocks of the flows, wherein like there will be like multiple elements. So I'm gonna go over all the elements. Like I'm gonna go to the actual flow builder and I'm gonna show you how those flows appears. But like first important part is like flow is a combination or it consists of multiple elements. So the elements could be a screen, it could be like a DML operation, it could be a decision maker. So there are multiple types. So if you see here, number one, the number one indicates the elements. So these are all the elements of the flow. And if you see the screen, like this gate records, the decision, the screen, everything is part of the flow. The next thing is like connectors. We have like multiple connectors. These connectors, basically, we use it to connect the multiple elements of the flow, right? Consider like you have this get records. So after the completion of get records, what action needs to be happen, that will be decided by these connectors. So we're going to connect multiple elements with the help of these connectors. The next is like resources. So we have multiple resources which can be used or which stores the data across multiple flows. Example is like consider like you are doing some operation, and during that operation you have to store some values, you have to create some variables. So you, and like if you want to pass some values between number of flows, number of screens, then you then all these resources are pretty much useful. So you can see the screen. On the screen we have this if you see this, I'm not sure if you're able to see this correctly, but I'm going to cover it up later. But you can add multiple resources. The resources can be part of, it could be either text resources, either it can be record, either it can be a formula field, it can be everything. So these are all the basic building blocks of the flows. So let's just go ahead with the flow categories now. So there are multiple flow categories wherein like first is like screen, then we have logic, then we have action, and we have integration. So I'm gonna go ahead and see, we're gonna see like one by one what exactly and how it works. So let me just share my the screen wherein I'm gonna show you the flow, how it's gonna look. Just doing that. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, so the thing is that whenever you want to implement the flows, so if you want to navigate to the flows, you need to go to the setup, and once you go to the setup, you need to search for flow here. So once you search for the flows in the process automation, you should be able to see the flow option, and this is the screen which will show you all the available flows in your org. there could be some flows which are installed by managed packages. And if you want to create a new one, so you have one button here called as new flow. So this new flow will create a new flow. I'm just going to click it, new flow. So this is whatever we are seeing right now. So this is the flow builder. So if you see, there are multiple options to create a flow. So we're going to go over all of them. So first is like Screenflow. So let's go ahead with the Screenflow, then we can go ahead with the others. So there are multiple options like Screenflow, record trigger flow, then schedule trigger flow. So I'm going to first of all select the Screenflow. And yeah, so there are two options right now. First is freeform and other one is auto layout, that is beta. So I'm going to show you to that. Auto layout is the stuff wherein the Salesforce will automatically lay out your stuff, whatever elements you have. It will rearrange the stuff, so you don't have to do that manually. And freeform is the one wherein you can just drag and drop your stuff without any manual intervention, automatic intervention. So yeah, so if you see this left screen, so there is a toolbox. And if you see this is the drag and drop element. So right now, if you see, we have multiple elements here. Like I have a screen element, I have action, I have subflow, assignment, decision. So what I'm going to do is we're going to see some very, very basic example wherein what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Screenflow. So I'll just drag the screen here. So if you see the screen, we're going to have here right now, you're able to see the screen. This is the Screenflow, wherein you are able to configure almost everything here. So if you see this, there are so many input elements. So consider like if you want to have a form, if you want to create one form, right? So what you can do, you can just drag and drop these elements and we can just have the UI ready for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one simple, maybe we'll just create one calculator, right? Let's just see, let's just do some fun stuff here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop. I'm going to take two numbers here, right? So here, if you see what I did, I just picked up the number element and I just dropped it here. And I'm going to give, and you can just rename, you can label it whatever you want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just give you a number. I'm going to label it as enter number 1. That's once you do that, if you see there is API name field. So this API name should be unique. So this is all across your flow. So that's why it is, if you see it is, so it is right, like whatever name, it has replaced the spaces with underscore to make it as a unique word. And this is my number 1. I'm going to do second field now. I'm going to say enter number 2. Okay, so if I do that, then I have now 2 numbers ready. So you can label, you can give label to your flow. I'm going to see like Stamford dev calculator. Okay, so we're going to do this calculator right now. So here we have options to show header. If you want to show the header, you can show them. If you don't want it, you can just skip them. You can show footer, you can show header. So there are a lot of configuration you can do. You can basically decide whether you want to show it, you want to show the next button, you want to show the previous button, you want to show pause button. Then also you in the flow, you can configure whether it should be shown for a particular condition or particular profile. So there are a lot of configurations. So right now what I'm doing very, very basic example. So these were all the elements. What I did, I just took 2 numbers. I named them like number 1, number 2, and that's it. I'm going to click on done here. Okay. So first thing what I did was I just created a simple element. I just dragged it off. But yeah, what the next thing, what we have to, the very, very important step is we'll always have this start screen flow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just connect this start to this screen. So what this connector is doing is whenever I'm going to start my flow, it's going to go to the first screen and it's going to show us the first screen. So let's just save this calculator. So if you want to save it, just click on, there is a save button here. I'm going to save this called as calculator. I'm going to just click on save. So just now what we have done, we have just created a screen. And if you want to see how it looks, what I'll do I'll just click on run here. So if you see right now, when I clicked on run, my flow is ready. My complete screen is ready. I have like label, I have number 1, number 2, I have my finish button, everything. We have right now only one button because we haven't given, because this is the last step in our flow. If you have more steps, then it will show you the next button as well. Right now we have only 2 numbers. So yeah, so this is done, but like this is our calculator, right? So we need to see the sum of these 2 numbers. So how can we do that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more screen, and that screen will show me the sum of 2 numbers which we have entered in last screen. So let's check it out. So what I'm going to do is, if you see there is display text element, I'm going to just drag and drop here, and I'll just see like this is the sum. I'm going to do that, and if you see here, we have one thing called as insert a resource. This is what I was talking about, resources, right? In our screen we saw the resources. So here you can create a new resource. You can use the existing resources available from the previous screen. If you see number 1, number 2 is available here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new resource here, and this new resource will be of type formula, and I'll just select the type as number. I'm going to put the formula here. Formula will be number 1, and I'll just click here with number 2. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is, this is my API name, so I'm going to give like sum of numbers. The data type is number because the value which I'm going to see, that should be a number, because like other resulted input, because we entered 2 numbers, so I want to see the result as number, so that's why my data type is number. And this is my formula. The formula is whatever number 1 is and number 2 is, give me the sum of it. And I'm going to click on done here. So once I click on done, if you see, this is the sum. So this particular element is already there, and this is the formula, and this formula is enclosed by opening braces, exclamation mark, and closing brace. Okay, so yeah, and if you see here, if you take a look, each and every element we have to give the API name here, and API name should be unique for all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just give some name, sum of number, display text. Oh, I'm so sorry, because it should be unique, and I'll just give the display text. Okay, so this is done. And as I told you, like we can set the component visibility, whether you want to show it always, whether you want to add some conditions, but right now we'll keep it always, and I'll click on save. Sorry, there are some errors. So it says a label is required. So I'm going to give like some header, and okay, so this is saved. Now, as I said, once you have your element ready, you need to always use the connectors to navigate it to the next one. So what I'm going to do, I just connected one flow element to the other element, and I'll just save it. So once I save it, that's it. You should be able to debug it. You should be able to run it. So what I'm going to do, I just saved it. I'm just going to click on run. So which will show me the numbers. This is our first screen. If you see, when I clicked on start, from start, it is going to the screen number 1. So here I'm going to put some number, like I'll just put 10, I'll put 20. And if you see, instead of finish button, now I have next button, right? So I'm going to click on next. You see, it is directly telling me this calculator is ready. This is telling you this is the sum of 30. That means whatever the sum, whatever 2 numbers you have entered, it's giving you the number. So I'm going to click on previous. If you see, there is previous button which you can configure. Whatever number you do it here, that will automatically calculate. It will give you the sum. So this is very, very basic example, but which will cover up all the basic element, wherein like how to use the flow, how to have the screen. So whatever we saw, that was screen element, like screen flow. And just now we saw what is the start element, what are the resources, and how to use the screen flow. So before I go ahead, do you guys have any questions? Like anything in your mind? If not, then we're gonna go ahead with our quiz. So okay, so today what we're gonna do is, as part of this, we're gonna have a couple of prizes. So that includes, we're gonna get the Salesforce certification vouchers worth $200 or $400. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one question, and everybody will try to answer that question. Whoever answers the questions first, that he will win the Salesforce certification voucher. So I'm gonna put the quiz on the screen right now. So if you guys see it, then just let me know. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see the URL here? So this is the URL. And if you want, you can just scan this barcode. So that should navigate you to the page. And that page will have your name and email ID, and then you are in. Then once you guys are ready, I'll just start the quiz, and you should be able to answer it on your screen.
Amol, can you please repeat that? Like,
Yeah.
where do I have to scan it? Like, I have to scan it on my phone, or do I have to open this URL, or
Yeah.
how?
Mm-hmm. So go ahead. Yeah. So either you can scan this on your phone, so it should open this URL on your mobile phone, or if you want, I have just pasted the link in the group chat. You can just go to that link, and that should navigate you to the application.
All right, thank you.
I see there are 4 people already joined. Like I see Roshni joined, Ajaypreet, Kara, they have joined already. So once you guys are ready, just let me know. Okay, I think I saw 8 people already in there, so I think we should start our quiz. So I'm gonna start the quiz. So in 10 seconds, you'll see the question, and the person who answers the first, he'll get the quiz. So the question should be, this is your question. You have a few seconds to answer the question. Okay, so we have our winner here. So the correct answer was C, and so Srishti is the one. She has answered the question. So congrats, Srishti. You'll get your certification voucher. I'll need your details later. I just need your web accessor account, your email ID, and your address. So I'm gonna get it from you later. So don't worry about it. We have more questions and we have more prices. So this was just first one. So congrats, Srishti. So we're gonna go ahead and see the next stuff right now. So can you guys see my screen? Okay, so let me just write it down before I forget Srishti's name. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, so next thing is like, so these are all flow categories. So we're gonna go one by one. We're gonna go by screen, how the logic works, what are the actions, and integration. So first of all, we saw the screens, but I'm gonna go ahead to the previous screen again so we can take a look. So if you see this application is built in Salesforce as well, the quiz application which you see. Okay, so first of all, now we are going with the screen. We just saw the screen flow, how it works. Then now we're gonna see the decisions, how the decisions are, and then what all different kinds of flows are there. So right now I'm gonna go to the flows. I'm gonna click on new flow. And if you see now, I'm going to select the record trigger flows. How many of you have heard the triggers? Like we Salesforce developers and everybody, they love to write triggers, right? Like, and if you say this, the flows provides you the flexibility to write the triggers. So if you want to write any triggers like on update, on insert, before update, after insert, after delete, all the DML operations, so you can select this record trigger flow, which will take you to the same screen. Either you want free form or either you want auto layout. So if you select the free form, then you'll have the same screen. But here with the start, if you see, you have some other elements as well. So here you can select whether this trigger should be triggered when the record is created, when the record is updated, created or updated, or deleted. And also you have some option whether, so whatever you wrote, like what you used to write in trigger, right, before update, after insert, this is exactly similar, but you are just configuring it through the UI. So right now you can select the, like suppose consider the record is created before it's saved. You can, or I can select after the record is saved. I'm going to click on save. Then you have a component called as like decision maker. You have loops. So how many have you guys heard of the loops? Like what exactly the loops are? This is very, very common in development practice, wherein consider like you have a list of records and you want to iterate those records and take some particular action. So the action could be anything. You want to iterate those records and get the sum of the elements, then get like iterate over the elements and update those records. So there could be like n number of scenarios, but I'm just going to show you like how that works. So if you see, the other thing we're going to see is like decision. So here you can make multiple decisions, like whether, consider like if you have a scenario, right? Consider like if A equal to B, then go to C. If A equal to C, then go to D. So if you have multiple if else scenarios based conditions, you can use this. I'm going to show you a proper example actually, wherein like we have already built it. So I'm going to show you the existing in progress one. Let's go there. So this thing will include, this is like a little bit we have added, but I'm going to just show you. So you guys can see the screen, right? So if you see this on the start, we have this record created, and after record is saved, then we have an object. So here you can select object, which object you want to have the conditions. Like after this placement survey object created, then what action should be created? What action should be done? So next thing is like, if you see, we have a decision. So this is what I was talking about. So here you can have your multiple if else condition. Consider like if you have an opportunity, so then you can have your own conditions here. If it is a student, then you can have your own conditions here. If it is campaign member, you can have different conditions. So this is how you can configure your conditions or decisions. So these decisions will make you, or like it will help you out with the different flows. So consider like for a particular group of elements you want to have, or you want to run a different logic, right? So you can, with the help of the decisions or logic, you can do that. And if you see that the way I did it, like right now we had only the one decision, and depending on the decision, I'm having different flows or different actions, right? So I would definitely like to show you the demo, but right now we have less time, so I'm just showing you how it is. So do you guys have any questions, whatever we have seen right now? Like we have seen the screen flows, then we have seen the actions, how the actions can be configured. Any questions so far? Anything? Okay, so if not, then I think we can go with our next thing. We can go ahead with the next prize. So right now we had Srishti as a winner. So Srishti, you can ignore the next question. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have another question, and the same thing will happen. You have to just register. You have to go to the same link, and once you go to the link, then you will see the next question over there. So do you guys see the link? And everybody should go to the screen and just try to answer the question. I see 4 people already have joined, and the questions are very very simple, guys. So whenever you're ready, just let me know. I'll just do it because these questions are very very simple. So okay, so I think I got 8 people in there. So let's just go ahead. So I'm just gonna start the quiz right now. Okay, so the question should be on your screen right now. I want everybody to win, so these are very very simple questions. Wow, so everybody got the correct answer here. Our winner is Kara. Am I saying it? Okay, I'm sorry.
Kara.
Okay, Kara. Okay, Kara. So you are the winner this time, and
Thank
you'll
you.
get a certificates voucher for worth of $200 or $400. Yeah, so I need your. So whoever is winners, please. I'm gonna give you my email ID. I want your details. So I'll get back to you once at the end of this session. Okay, so we have very very less time and we have more prizes. So let's go ahead and see our next topic. Okay, so we just saw the logic, we saw the actions. Now we have the integrations. So let me go to the flows again. Okay, so now if you see here, so there are so many like unlimited options here. If you like, I mean, have you guys written the batch apex or schedulers anytime? Because that's very very popular in developers. Like developers, they always write triggers, they always write scheduler, batch apex, and that can be done through trigger as well. So if you see here, so we saw the screen flows, we saw the record trigger flow, then we saw the now we're going to see the schedule trigger flow. So this schedule trigger flow, same, like the UI is almost same for everybody, elements are same, but like the way you take actions, that is different. So in schedule trigger flow, you can literally schedule a particular actions, and there is another flexibility, right? Because sometimes there are some things which is pretty complex, so you won't be able to achieve it through a flow builder. So what they have done is they have provided a flexibility through which you can call the apex methods, right? Apex, that means you can write apex class, you can expose apex methods, and you can call them through your flow. So that is one of the most important flexibility, which is very very useful for everybody and all the developers. But like what I've seen is like most of the actions, if you know all the features in flows, definitely you can build any applications, like almost, I'm not saying 100%, but we are almost getting there. So at some point of time you will see like everybody, including standard developers, you'll see them building flows instead of writing code, because this is their biggest step. Salesforce has taken very very biggest step right now, which is flows. Through this, the dependency on developers will be very very less, unless they want to build something complex and very very out of the box. But like if you see all these things, like if you can write the schedule flows, and we're going to see the other type right now. Let me just go to the flows again, and I'll show you the platform events. So if you see here, so we have another flow category called as like a platform events. So this particular category, right, if you see the platform events and all this stuff, have you guys heard of platform event, by the way? So the platform events are wherein like the standard Salesforce triggers an event. Example, like record update, or like there could be n number of platform events. So you can launch the flow when platform event trigger occurs. So that can be done through this flows. Then we have like auto launch flows. So in auto launch flow, you don't need a trigger or anything. You can just launch it with any process. It is kind of execute anonymous window, wherein like if you have any logic or any script to be run for specific conditions or without conditions, you can literally write it and run it here. So that is the part. Let me just take a look. Just give me a second. I'm just taking a look at the other part. Okay, so yeah, another part is like we can call the integration. So integration is very, very important in all the development aspects. So if you want to do integrations with multiple applications, what you can do is you can have your own write-up, or you can create the integration platform or integration touch points through flows. So that thing is also available and possible. I really wanted to show you everything, but I can't do that because the scope is huge and we have very, very less time. But yeah, before going ahead, let's take a look at our flow categories. So okay, so these are our flow categories we saw. So if we take a look, we first of all saw the screen, then we saw how the logic is built up, then we saw the actions, then we saw the integrations. So based on all these flow categories, almost you should be able to write any kind of flow, because you just need to understand, because I've seen people, right? I've seen so many BAs, like we have some BAs here. So if you think about it, like if you have any requirements and whenever you write flow charts, so writing a flow in a flow builder is almost equal to writing a flow chart. So instead of writing it on a paper, you are just writing it in the system and that's going live. So that is very, very easy. And I think in last few months, or I would say like in last 1 year, I've started using flows a lot. And I think my development time is significantly reduced, like so much. So I would definitely recommend this. So whenever you get any requirement, instead of going with customizations or writing Apex, think about it like whether you can write it with the help of flows, because most of the things are possible with the flows. And another part is like you guys might have seen the uh, process builder. How many of you have used a process builder? Maybe you might have used it or maybe not. But process builder, Salesforce, when they launched the automated processes, they've launched the process builder, and process builder had a very, very, like they had a limitations actually. So nowadays Salesforce is recommending, instead of using process builder, try to use flows, which has many features. Okay, so we have less time. We have just 15 minutes left. We have Larry on the call, who is going to show us the demo of his product, which is awesome. So before that, we're gonna go ahead with our next question. So let me just, everybody ready? Okay, so we have 4, 5, 6 people in there. Oh wait. Oh, okay. So I think if everybody's ready, then I think I'll just go ahead. So I'm just, okay, we have 7 people right now. So I'm just going ahead and starting the quiz. And here is the next $400 and $200 quiz. Okay, so we have a winner here, and the winner is Ria. Congratulations, Ria. I'm going to need your information, your web accessor account, and your email ID or your name. So yeah, the answer was C. So that's cool. So we have got our 3 winners right now. I'm going ahead. Next game. Okay, so I think let me just take a look. How much time do you have? Okay, so we have 10 minutes. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it to Larry. Larry, are you there? Hey, Larry. So I'm gonna give it to Larry, and after Larry, I'm gonna have one more prize for you guys. So I'm just setting the Larry as a host, so he will share his screen.
Okay. Let's see. Host and share screen. And I think that's the one we want here. And can everybody see my PowerPoint here? Should be this PowerPoint, but same difference. Okay, so let's just jump in. This is an application that I've developed entirely in Lightning Web Components. Any of you have any experience with Lightning Web Components yet? Basically, they opened up an API and let you do, JavaScript and all sorts of special, interesting things straight against the engine. So this is what I've built is sort of an alternative, either dashboard or opportunity tab that fits right into the tabs, the regular tabs that are on Salesforce. There's no restriction in getting into normal tabs. This is just a new one that pops up here. But you can see it's sort of a cleaner user interface. It's also a little bit denser, so you get more data on the screen, and it's a lot faster because it's written in HTML5. So a lot of the code is cached down to the browser. So it's very, very responsive. So what I built here is the approach is a dual screen, like left and right panels. So if you ever used Act or something like that, where you have a list on the left and you look for details on the right, similar approach here. So it gives the salesperson a view of their opportunities with a whole variety of time frames here. And depending on what you pick, it tells them down below what their quota and attainment stats are. Gives you the ability to sort, across any number of categories. You can even take one and say, listen, I want to work on this one today. I'm going to pin it to the top. So it lets you do some interesting things in terms of user experience. And here's where we'll get deep into Lightning Web Components. Because instead of a typical dashboard setup that's got a whole pile of tasks unrelated to opportunities, we're able to associate all of the tasks with a given opportunity and put them in a reverse chronological order. So you get a whole history of what's gone on, and the user can specify anywhere from 2 to 10, in this case more because I've got more for today, activities that show up under a given opportunity. And that's the case with all of these. Now, where it gets kind of interesting is one problem with Salesforce is that it tends to take you away to a different screen for details. So what I've done with it is used pop-ups extensively. And the pop-ups pop up in edit mode. So one of the biggest pains in Salesforce is you see something, you want to change it, and there's another whole response time cycle to get into edit mode. This one drops the cursor right in here at the top of the subject line. One tab takes you to the next line. Another tab takes you to the contact if it's not there, and then the third is a save. Now these tabs can also, this is where you get interesting with Lightning Web Components, they can cascade. So if you want to take a look at anything in blue here that is detailed, so you want to take a look at a contact or the account for a given pop-up, for a given opportunity, they pop up right here, and then you can use the right-hand panel to expand that right out to either account detail or opportunity detail. Or you can even go up here and just say, listen, I want to look up totally independent of what I'm doing on the left. I can look up somebody's contact name. So it lets you start to do some very interesting things with the user interface. Another piece that I've built in here is One thing that very few reps use is task management inside Salesforce because it is such a pain. And that's why you see Dooley and Outreach and all sorts of different applications that are third-party applications that do an integration, but you're really not inside Salesforce. You're out someplace else, and it takes an integration for that app to integrate with the database. So what I've built here is what I call a today list. It's not an exhaustive to-do list application. It simply shows all of the tasks that have a date of today, and it allows you to work them in order. You can add them. So if I decide, geez, I want to call Rose today, I'm going to pop her over there. Probably never seen drag and drop in a regular user interface in Salesforce before, have you? How about right click? What if the list, we want to research this and say, let's add that today. So then we got research terms for Rose over here. And the same pop-up still works. So if you want to modify it from here, you can do it. If it's a call, and you have a call system set up, you can just click on that, or you can pop up their contact and just do a straight email. And this just exits to standard Salesforce email. So the to-do list is pretty simple here. If you, as you complete things, you just check them and they disappear from the list. If you want to see what you've accomplished today, you can always take a look at that, and you can display them. If you decide, I really don't want to do this today, I just hit a minus and it disappears. And again, you've got all sorts of pop-ups here to manage them, so you don't have to go back to the opportunity. So what I've done as a salesperson over 40 years is I just get up every morning and I take a look at my opportunity list, and I open each one of them and say, okay, where am I and what do I need to do? And that is the whole objective of this app, to enable you to take a look at any opportunity for any time frame. You can jump to next quarter if you want to pretty easily. I don't happen to have any showing in this. And just manage your existing opportunities. This is not a prospecting tool just yet. It's primarily for opportunity management. And that's why it's probably a good replacement for the opportunity tab in any given application. It also makes it really easy to create tasks. So you notice that each one of the opportunities here has got a plus sign. Just click on that and say, oh, what, let's add a call task. It opens in edit mode, so you can go to the keyboard and say, oh, you know what, I need to call Edna, about delivery, and I want to put her in on this so that it's easy for me to call or email here. And you notice in the related to, it's already filled it in with the opportunity that I clicked from. So one of the things that the Express Console does for you here is it does a very close association of all tasks and activities with the opportunity. So it lets you, instead of having to look at an account with a gazillion emails and a whole bunch of contacts and a lot of chatter or static in the activities, it lets you lets the salesperson narrow in just on what's going on with a given opportunity and to manage it that way. And you can even add, if you want to add just a general purpose call up here, that's a call type. Want to add a task, click from there, and the same thing for events, and you get a slightly different pop-up here that shows you the ability to create an event. Now, final kind of whiz thing here from Lightning Web Components is it allows you to right-click any text. Like if you have call notes from a long call, you can right-click here and say, let's create a new task just from that. And it drops whatever you highlighted into the subject, lets you fill it out. It takes the context from the pop-up that you're in. So it pulls the contact, it pulls the opportunity, and lets you build, if you have 5 to-dos that come out of a given meeting, lets you build them right there just with a right click and a real easy entry, and boom, that shows up in your to-do list here. Final piece with the Express Console is I've taken the sales path and actually created an entire document out of it. So all of your prompter questions from the sales path can be are in an interactive, collaborative document here. Anyone who has access to the opportunity can say, I want to change that, just deferred to January and save that. And anyone who has access to this this opportunity is able to see the this opportunity document live. One other piece that I'm working on too is a forecast view. So you get a full screen here, and it adds things like upside, stage, next step, and so forth. But you still have that ability to take a look underneath each one of the opportunities and see what the details are. So this will be an excellent vehicle for sales managers to discuss and review opportunities with their salespeople. Any questions at this point? You guys ever seen an app that looks like this and works right in Salesforce? I'll take that as a resounding no. Well, that's pretty much it, unless we have some questions. You know, I should probably check the see in the chat here if we have any questions. I don't see
Yeah, I think
any out there.
no questions for now. So yeah, so thank you, Larry, for this demo. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
So real quick, here's my just to throw out my contact information.
Sure.
If you're interested in talking about the app, or you think it might have an applicability at an organization that you know, love a call or an email.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry. So can you make me a presenter, Larry?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jump right back, and I do appreciate the opportunity to show off here.
Thank you so much. So we have one more certification voucher for you guys. So I'm just gonna start it, and we have just 1 minute left. So where is can you guys see my screen? People, I see 4, 5, 6 people have joined already. Okay, so I think we have 7 players already joined. So okay, all the best, guys. So I'm gonna start this quiz right now. So all the best for this. Question is coming in. Okay, so we have our winner, the Roshni, I'm sorry. So Roshni is the winner for this. So we have got 4 winners today: Srishti, Kara, Ria, and Roshni. Congratulations, guys. You guys won the certification voucher worth of $200 and $400. So you guys will get it. And let me just quickly wrap it up. So just give me a second. Okay, so because we are almost there, so we saw this. We are debugging. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Anything? Any
I think
comments?
we're all set. Thanks for setting this up.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, we already did this demo, so I had a Larry. Okay, so if you guys want, so I have one more certification voucher. So in which, like, you guys have seen the chatter group. So whoever joins the chatter group, so we're gonna do the lucky draw. So feel free to join the chatter group. We're gonna post our winner over there. And thank you so much. And we have our next in-person event coming up next month, actually. So if you guys want to join, feel free to join it. And it includes like food and beverages. Also, we're gonna have a lot of exciting prizes for you. So thank you so much. And the winner, sorry, go ahead.
Can you please share the link of the chatter group, please?
Oh yes. So if you go to our group, right? So
Yeah.
if you go to our Dreamforce, okay, I'll just paste it in our group. But yeah, the winners, can you please send me an email with your information? I just pasted the group here. Okay, and winners, please send me an email. So I need your core details. I need your Accessor account. If you guys don't have it, please create it. And your email and your address. So please ping me here. And that's it. So I'll see you guys next event. Thank you so much for joining.
Good stuff, Amal. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
I'm sorry the people who had technical difficulties. Thank you so much. Sorry for that.
You should copy them out of the chat or the attendees list and contact them. I tried to email or to message the people to see if they could find their way in, but I didn't hear back from anyone.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah. Thank you.
Alrighty, take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye now.